Okay, so for question 22, the volume of a right triangular prism shown is 96 cubic centimeters. What is the area? So we have the volume as 96, and we need to find the area of a triangular base. So this, well, we'll just take this triangular base and multiply by the length of the long side to get the area. So this should just be triangular area. I'm just gonna call that x times 12. Um, so what is the area of one of the triangle bases? So we just have to find x. So we divide both sides by 12, and we get x equals 8. So the correct answer is B. Okay, question 23. Okay, so for question 23, we have different data sets, and we're asked to find of the data sets summarized by that dot plots, which has the smallest standard deviation. The standard deviation is basically just how far most of the points are from the mean. So in this case, you have points such as 66 and 78 that are pretty far away from the mean of 74. So it's not that one. This one has the highest standard deviation because all of the points are equidistant away. Dataset C has a similar problem, and then dataset D, most of the points are around the mean, and then there's just 2 points that are further away. So the correct answer is D, as the smallest standard deviation, because a majority of the points are either at the mean or close by. Okay, question 24. Okay, so for question 24, um, we have that they work as a teacher assistant for $20 an hour and tutors privately for $25 an hour. So we have 20 times X hours as teacher assistant, so 20X plus privately for $25 an hour, so that's 25Y equals, and he said that last week he made $100 working X hours as a teacher assistant and Y hours as a private tutor. So that means he made $100 in total. So 25X or 20X plus 25Y equals $100 total that he made in last week. And so now we just have to simplify to get one of these equations. So in this case, what factors into 20, 25, and 100? 5. So in this case, we divide everything by 5. So 20 divided by 5 is 4x plus 25 divided by 5 is 5y. 100 divided by 5 is 20. So the correct answer is B. 4x plus 5y is greater than or equals to 20. Oh, and it's greater than or equals to because this says at least. So it could be greater. Okay, question 25. Okay, so for question 25, we have cost equals 16L squared. L is the length of one side of the floor, which roughly represents the total cost and dollars per square foot. So since this is a square floor, we know that um, to get square foot would be to find the area. So this would just be L times L length or length squared. And we're given the equation for total cost being C equals 16L squared. So the cost per square foot would just be the 16 value. So correct answer is C. Okay, question 26. Okay, so for question 26, we have an equation 3x plus 4y equals 16. We just need to graph this. So in this case, the best way to do this would just be to find the intercepts. So when x is equal to 0, we have 4y is 16, divide both sides by 4, and we get y is equal to 4. So that means we need to have the point 0, 4 on the graph. And the other point we have to have the graph on the graph is when y is equal to 0. So that would just be 16 divided by 3, which would be some fractional number, 5 point something, 5 point x. And so in this case, the answer choice would be A. We have 4 and 5 point something. And then B has an intercept of 5 point something, so no. C is a 16 and D has 16. So the correct answer is A, which follows this 0, 4. Okay, question 27. Okay, so for question 27, we're given a total cost of 5 billion, and we're told that each mile costs 2 million to build. So we have a total of 2,500 miles. So 2,500 times 2 million gives us a total cost of 5,000 million, which is 5 billion. And it also says that the total cost is 5 billion. So that means that there's no initial cost. So that means the correct answer is A, 0, 0. Okay, question 28. Okay, so for question 28, we're asked for the predicted population of Alaska on January 1st, 1960, and this table shows um, the populations of two states from January 1st, 1960. So that means in this case, x is equal to 0. Um, and we're also given that this is the population in thousands. So the in thousands is pretty important here. So in this case, when x is equal to 0, we just have 221, but this is in thousands, so the actual population would be multiplying by 1,000, which would just be 221,000. That is the total population. So the correct answer is D. Okay, question 29. Okay, so for question 29, based on a model, in which year does the predicted population exceed 900,000? So in this case, let's just convert into the equation format. So convert thousands again. So in this case, this just becomes 900, from 900,000 to 900 by dividing by 1,000. And then you get 900 equals 645 plus 14.5x. Subtract 645 from both sides, and that gets you 255 equals 14.5x. Divide both sides by 14.5, and you get 17.58. We have an initial date of 1960, so we take 1960 and then we add 17.5. So That gets us 1977.5. 1977.5 is still within the year 1977, so the correct answer is D. 1977. Okay, question 30. Okay, so for question 30, we have initial of 100, so these are 100, and then the percentage decrease is 30%, so we have 100%, that's 100. 100% minus 30%, that gets us 70% or 0.7. So in this case, it's not A or B, it would be C or D. And we have every 3 seconds this occurs. So that means that when t equals 3, the exponent should equal 1. So in this case, 3 over 3 equals 1. So the correct answer is C. And answer is D. When t equals 3, this event would have occurred 3 times when we only want it to occur once every 3 seconds. Okay, question 31. Okay, so for question 31, um, it asks how many more are classified as medium, large, or very large when compared to very small or small. So in this case, we add up these three and then subtract these two from it. So we have 4055 minus 3808, or sorry, plus 3808, and then plus 876. So we add up these three and then we have to subtract these two from it. So we do minus 4406 and then minus 2911. So we add up these three and then we subtract these two from it. If you do parentheses, you could also do it like this and then make this a plus. But regardless, once you add up and subtract all this, you get 1422, which is the correct answer. Okay, question 32. Okay, so for question 32, we have a quadratic equation, and looks like we have to find the quadratic formula for this. This would just be negative b plus or minus root b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. In this case, we have a equals 1, b equals negative 4, c equals negative 9. So in this case, we would have 4 plus or minus root 16 plus A is 1 and C is 9, so 9 times 4 is 16, so plus 16. No, plus 36. 16 plus 36, all over A is 1, so just all over 2. Um, 16 plus 36 is 52, so we have 4 plus or minus root 52 over 2. And for us to find the value of m plus k, m is 4, and k is 52, so we just have to take 52 plus 4, which is just 56. So the correct answer is 56. Okay, question 33. Okay, so for question 33, what is the result of increasing 300 by 200%? So in this case, they want you to increase 300 by this much. So first we just have to take 300. Oh, that's not. So 300, and we have to multiply it by 2 because um, 200 into decimal is just 2. So that gets us 600. But this is increasing 300 by that much. So we have to add the initial 300 into it. So this gets us 900, which is the correct answer. So if they said something like, what is the result of multiplying 300 by 200% or something, then it would be 600. But increasing 300 by 200% means you have to um, increase it by 200% and then add the original. Okay, question 34. Okay, so for question 34, we have y equals 3 over 2x minus 1/2 and y equals k over 3x plus 1/3. And the system equations above, k is constant, which are, if the system has no solutions, what is the value of k? So for there to be no solutions, you have to have different um, intercept values, but the same slopes. So in this case, these intercept values are very different. So we just need to make sure that these slopes are the exact same. In order to do that, let's just convert into the same denominators. In this case, we would have 3 times 2 is 6, and we'd have 3 times 3 is 9. So 9 over 6x, and then we have k over 3, so this would just be 3 times 2 is 6, and we have 2k and x. So now these two have to equal each other. We can get rid of the denominators, and we have 9 equals 2k, which means that the value of k is just 9 over 2. Or if you want to put a decimal, 4.5. Okay, question 35. Okay, so for question 35, 0.65 or 0.6y represents result of decreasing quantity y by p%. What is the value of p? Well, in this case, this as a percent would be 60% of y. So we have 60% of y. And in this case, we're asked decreasing quantity y by p%. So this would just mean decreasing y by 40%, because 60 plus 40% is 100% of y, so you're decreasing y by 40% to get 60% of y. So the value of p is 40. Okay, question 36. Okay, so for question 36, we're given the square root of a, so root a, is equal to the cube root of b. So cube root of b. So square root is just an implied 2 here. Okay? And we're given an equation in the form a to the power of some value. So in this case, let's convert the square roots and cube roots into powers. So in this case, it should just be a to the 1/2 power, because for square root, you just take what's in the denominator and pull it into the square root, and what's in the numerator stays an exponent. So in this case, this would be a to the 1/2, and this would be b to the 1/3. This is identical to this equation here. And then after that, we need to find for what value of x is a to the value of something equal to b. So we need to get b by itself. So instead of b to the 1/3, we just need b. So in this case, multiplying both sides by an exponent of 3 would give us that. So in this case, it would have a to the 3 over 2. I should draw that more as an exponent. A to the power of 3 over 2 equals b to the power of 3 over 3. B to the power of 3 over 3 is just b to the first power, which is just b. So this just gets us a to the power of 3 over 2 equals b. And so um, now that we have that, we need to figure out what 2x minus 1 equals 3 over 2. So we have 2x minus 1 equals 3 over 2, which I'm going to write that as a decimal. So 3 over 2 is just 1.5. So now we have to add 1 to both sides. That gets us 2x equals 2.5. And then we divide both sides by 2, and we get x equals 1.25. So what value does x have to be? X has to be 1.25. Okay, question 37. Okay, so for question 37, according to our graph, what is the median number of delayed flights for the airline shown? So in this case, we're looking at delayed flights, which is the one in the darker color. So, for median, we just take the highest value and lowest value and cross them out. So in this case, this is the lowest, and this is the highest. And then the second lowest would be this, and the second highest would be this. So this would leave us with a median value of this, which is right on the line, which for most of these type of questions, they will always have it on the line because they don't really want you guessing all that much. So in this case, this would just be, if 2 bars is 10,000, this would just be 5,000. So the median number of delayed flights for the airline shown is 5,000. Okay, question 38. Okay, so for question 38, um, according to graph for the airline with the greatest number of delayed flights, so delayed flights and the greatest number, so in this case, the highest bar is B. So, um, what fraction of the total number of scheduled flights for the airline were delayed? So in this case, again, they made sure that it was on the line because they do not want you guessing these numbers. Like, how would you know what exactly this is or this is? You don't. So they always keep these on the line. So that kind of helps just make sure. And so in this case, you have a total of 40,000. So, and in this case, you have 15,000. So 15,000 over 40,000, which 15,000 divided by 14,000 is 0.375. So the correct answer is 0.375. And I think that's all for this SAT. Yep. It's already
Next
time.
week, next week we'll not have any class. We will have a holiday next week on 13th. We'll see you again on the 20th. Okay. Thank you everybody for joining this week and have a wonderful weekend. Bye bye.